Welcome to Bitter Coffee. I'm Kelly Coffey.
And I'm Margo Batesy.
Hi, Margo.
Hi, Kelly.
Guess what today is?
Friday the 13th.
It is that.
Oh, was it something else?
Yep. It is also, it's kickoff of season 3
Woohoo!
of Bitter Coffee. It's an exciting time to be alive.
All right.
So there's nothing that's really signifying the start of season 3 other than I just thought maybe it was going to be a good time to start season 3.
I like it.
So here we are.
Okay.
You will maybe notice, because I'm just noticing it now, my S's sound a little bit weird.
Oh, well, you had some dental work.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say I'm usually not one that freaks out when I go to the dentist. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, at this particular appointment, I was a little bit uneasy. Mm-hmm. But not until I got there.
Okay.
So I had to have like 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of work done.
Yikes.
And you know what I did almost the entire time? I shut my eyes and I laid in the sun because the sun was coming through the window.
Lovely.
And my dentist was like, "Do you want me to shut the blinds?" I was like,
No.
"Mm-mm."
Yeah.
No. I was forced to not talk and just sit there and do nothing.
Right.
It was lovely.
Can't answer emails. You can't be, doing things.
I did
looking
nothing.
at things. Nothing.
My glasses are off. I can't
Nice.
see anything.
It's nice.
I'm watching some turtles
Sure, like floating. Do they have
Some-
this TV on the ceiling?
on the ceiling.
Love that.
Aquatic life, watching some fish. So then the assistant and my dentist were debating whether or not the video that I was watching was actual sea life or in an aquarium.
Oh.
So I don't really know who won or lost on that one. But
Yeah.
back to the original point. So I feel like I'm talking a little bit funny,
Sure.
but it's not
It
too
sounds
noticeable.
fine. No,
Okay.
no.
So maybe we're kicking off season 3 because I'm getting a new crown,
I think that could be.
right?
Yeah.
Like a queen,
Sure.
right?
Our favorite gal, QE2. We love her.
I think you
I love
more
her.
than me.
I love her.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and QE2, like that's a love that dare not speak its name,
Pretty much.
right?
I can't even, I'm going to take a week off when she dies.
Oh, I'd say at least a week.
Yeah.
You'll have like 10 days of mourning.
Yeah.
And then like when you do return to society, black veil.
Dark. Yeah.
Right?
It's
And
gonna be
like,
dark.
Yep. Like I think you will mourn for 1 year,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
It sounds about right to me. But here's something funny. Speaking of British stuff.
Yeah.
So you rolled up tonight
Yes.
and I was sitting in my living room when you pulled into the driveway and I thought to myself, oh, it sounds like she's kind of hovering in the driveway. And then it was like, it just stopped. And I kind of forgot to ask you about it.
Right.
So because I was really hungry.
Right. And we were going to eat right
Yep.
away.
Shout out to Vespa's for
Whew.
some pretty
So good.
GD good food.
Yes.
So as we were coming into the studio from the kitchen, you mentioned that you had a rental car.
Correct.
And you really buried the lead.
I did. Because it's a nice rental car.
Okay, here's the thing. If I drove to your house in the kind of car that you're driving, I would drag your entire family outside
And show them.
and make them like, let's go for a ride right now. Grace, take the wheel.
Right.
It's just in the driveway.
Right.
You can't do any damage. So what are you driving?
A Jaguar. It's so ridiculous to say it out loud, isn't
But
it?
you were like, oh, I didn't tell you what I was driving. And you just kind of threw it out there.
I wasn't thinking it was a big deal. It's a very nice car.
It's a really nice car. And now I understand why it
inside.
sounded like
Yeah.
a UFO.
It does that weird thing like where like the engine shuts off when you idle.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like a hybrid. I don't know what it is, but
There's a lot going on in that car.
way more than I understand.
Now, it does have a Florida plate.
It does.
Do you think a lot of people are going to be giving you the finger?
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel weird,
Yeah.
but it's nice.
Just because,
Florida.
Vermont is basically not letting anybody.
Right.
In or out of
from
the state.
other states
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I'll be like, look at my license.
Right. I'm from here.
I'm from here. It's my
Yeah.
car. I don't
Yeah.
have my car right now.
But
Yeah. Is it better? I had to borrow a car.
maybe you should like hand out cards or something.
I could just put like a sign in the back window.
You
I really
could.
live here.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking quarantine.
And it's weird that this kind of car doesn't have that option.
Like a big sign. that
Like a big
says, I'm
sign.
from here.
You
Yeah.
know, like you hit the big sign button
True.
and then.
It might. I mean, I haven't really explored all of the bells and whistles yet, so
Right.
maybe I've missed it. Might be in
Heated
the boot.
seats. Right.
You don't know.
And the trunk
Yes.
is the boot.
The trunk is the boot.
And then the hood is the bonnet, right? No, is that the top?
I don't know. See, I don't know that part.
Yeah, I think it's a bonnet.
I think it's a bonnet. Yeah.
Feels like a bonnet.
Yeah. It
Right?
probably has heated seats. I haven't
would
haven't
think
really
so.
checked it out.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
My phone automatically connected to it.
What?
I just had to press like one button.
Okay, that's a little bit ridiculous.
It was a little bit the cold dead hand.
Thanks to Shemmy,
Yep.
once again, for the cold dead hand of Steve Jobs.
Yes.
So you're driving around in a Jaguar all weekend.
All week.
A week. Oh, Chris. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you and I talked a little bit about this right before we started recording, that one of my pet peeves about Jaguars.
Is how you pronounce it.
Yes.
Jaguar.
Jaguar. And then other people, you know what they say? Jaguar.
Yeah.
Like that's not even close.
That's not close. Jaguar. That's
No.
a little bit more English.
Isn't it just Jaguar?
I don't know.
But you know what's worse than
I'm
all
from
of
Ohio.
those? Jag. What are you driving? I'm driving a Jag.
Oh, well, yeah.
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 Don't say that.
No, I won't.
Okay, don't.
I'm actually being like, people are going to want to know who's driving it at work. People
You
are
should
like,
just park it in front of the police station, then just walk
"Can't,
over.
We're not allowed to park over there. It's a big deal if you do.
Okay.
Don't do that, people.
They will tow and crush your car. Pretty much.
How am I going to explain that to the rental people?
You can't.
No.
So it's kind of been a big couple of weeks. It feels like it's been about 9 years
I know.
since the election.
True.
It's been like, what, a week and 3 days,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Tuesday.
Yes.
Today's Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Math not being my strong suit.
10 days.
10 days. But it feels like it's forever.
Correct.
And I spent probably a really unhealthy amount of time watching the not election results.
Right.
And, my sleep really suffered. I think everybody's sleep really suffered. And on Saturday, I was in Burlington. I was running an errand in Burlington.
When they called it.
And yeah, Burlington, like
Just
it
erupted.
erupted in like
Cheers.
car horns and cheers and
that's
people
awesome.
literally dancing in the street. So it was kind of cool to see. But where was I going with that? Oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, this is what I was thinking. As I was watching this lack of election results, and even before actual election day, when they were having all that coverage of people standing in line for hours waiting to vote. Here's the thing that really got to me. And most people probably think this, but I'm not bright, so I just thought of it the other day. All those folks, they stood in line not knowing what the outcome was going to be. It's not like if I wait in line for 6 hours,
Right.
this is going to happen.
My guy's going to win.
If
right.
I'm in line for 10 hours and I have my snacks and my chair and my water and I'm 80, you know what I mean?
Right.
Didn't matter.
Nope.
So I don't know. It really spoke to like how much people really wanted something to change.
Yep.
And then when I saw, and everybody saw, the reaction, not only here in the Burlington / Winooski area,
Right.
but like around the world. I'm not going to lie. When they rang the bells in Paris,
Yeah.
I might have cried a little bit.
A little bit.
Right?
Teared up a little bit.
Fireworks in London.
Yeah.
That's your
My town.
second home.
My town.
Never
Never been. Just to be clear.
I always have the impression that you have been to London.
I've been to Ireland, but I've
Okay.
never been to London.
You're so close.
So close.
You're like right there.
Yeah. But we
know?
were there specifically to do stuff in Ireland. So,
Okay. Do Irish stuff.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So just like
Dan used to teach there, so we went around the country.
of course he did.
I know, right?
And he spoke in Gaelic, right?
He can't speak Gaelic.
Nobody can.
A few people. I've met a couple of people who can speak Gaelic.
It's the weirdest language in the world.
It is strange.
I tried to take a class at NYU,
Just to take a class.
just to take a class. And it was Gaelic. I'm like, I'm just going to learn Gaelic.
Sure.
Why not?
No, it's super
Fun
hard.
language. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because like THs are pronounced like an F.
Yeah, it's
And then
it's
sometimes
really
it's
different.
pronounced as a Q. if there's like an R on either side of it.
Yeah.
It's like I went to 2 classes,
And you're out.
left in tears.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the only one who was crying at the end of the second class.
Professor.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't teach this.
It was ridiculous.
Confusing.
I was having a difficult time hearing him speak when he was speaking
English.
English.
I was just going to say that depending on the region of Ireland that people are from, it's more difficult to understand their brogue, and it's tricky. And this is from someone like my mom was born in Scotland. Now, of course, she never had an accent growing up, but my grandparents had thick Scottish accents. And so I feel like I have an ear to that sort of British.
Well, it's in your blood.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But there are definitely, I think it's Southern Ireland that like I can't make out at all.
Oh. It's almost like Scottish. Scottish I can't understand.
See, I can understand Scottish completely.
Really?
Well, that's what my grandparents sound
Yeah,
like.
those are your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You grew
there's-
up listening to it.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain regions of Ireland where I've definitely sat in front of people and just nodded my head and said yes to things that I had no idea what I was saying yes to.
That's pretty much how I live my life.
You
know, I just kind of I smile and nod.
Yeah.
God knows what I'm agreeing to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
No.
So here's something I got a really nice message the other night, Wednesday night, from Cedric.
Oh.
And Cedric is the person that I met when we were basically stranded in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've told this story before, but we were stranded in Boston. Michelle and I decided that we needed to get home because our bus just didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And because the guy went on vacation. Yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So we decided to rent a car. And of course, I make this announcement in the bus terminal because it's what I do because I'm a class act. And I said, we're renting a car to go to Burlington, Vermont. We have room for 2 more. Who's in?
Mm-hmm.
And Cedric was one of the people that jumped up.
Awesome.
So we got into a cab, went to the Hertz or whatever we went to with strangers.
Sure.
And then got into a rental car
With strangers.
And so we've stayed in touch ever since.
Yeah.
So he was listening to one of our recent shows and he suggested Selling Sunset. Do you need a minute? We might be a while, folks.
No, I'm sorry.
Are you okay? Do you want some
good.
water?
No, I'm okay.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You don't seem like you're okay.
No, I'm good. Okay. I'm good. Sorry.
Raise your hand if you're not.
I'm good. Yay.
So Cedric had, so first of all, hello to Cedric and thank you for listening.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And he had suggested or recommended rather, Selling Sunset.
Yeah, I feel
As
like
one
this
of the
is one
shows.
we should probably watch.
I think so.
Neither of us have.
Nothing.
No, but it's on the Bravo sphere, so I feel like we would like it.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, that's our jam.
Pretty much.
So Stranded Island.
Although strangely, I don't really watch any of those shows. I just know about them
And how do you know about them?
from Sirius XM Radio.
Okay.
Yes.
I got Sirius XM.
Kelly! I'm so excited!
I know.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah,
That was
I
really
was-
loud.
I got this weird deal through like it was like
magazine
Wayfair or
Yeah,
something.
who knows?
I don't know what it was, but they sent me this email and I was like, well, this isn't legitimate.
Right.
So then I signed up for it and I couldn't sign up. And then they gave me this like 800 number. So I called it and they were like, yep, it's legit. And it's like $5 a month for a year or
that's
something.
awesome.
And then I'm sure it goes up to like
$1 million or something.
$179
Right.
a week after that. But
You just
hey,
cancel it.
you know what? 2020 owes me something.
I agree.
So here's my thing. I haven't listened to it because
You, Andy.
I know, but
That's my favorite.
I needed to talk to you about it a little
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
So what I'm going to need from you, maybe like a list of like starter shows.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to, like a Jeff Lewis and Andy Cohen. You don't like Jeff Lewis, and I understand that.
This is where we have to agree to disagree.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
look. This is where we part ways
It's
as far as
fine. It's
who we
fine.
listen to. It's fine.
And Amy Phillips, you're gonna love. Reality Checked.
No, she's the person who does all of the
Imitations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned her to me a couple of weeks. Ugh, Jesus
It was
Christ!
like months ago.
With this mouth, I can't even talk anymore.
It's okay.
It was, I'd say it was a couple of months ago. I fell into an Amy Phillips abyss.
Did you?
And you know what?
Yeah.
If falling into an Amy Phillips abyss is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I agree.
It was,
I would follow her anywhere.
I'd follow her into hell.
Completely.
You know, like without
She's
hesitation.
Hilarious. Hilarious people.
Now, did I make this up in my head, or does she do a Danielle impression?
Yes.
Where she uses the plural term woman as woman? Okay. Yes. I was hoping that I didn't make that up in my head, but that's what Danielle does.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here to empower woman.
Yes.
And then during one of the reunions, Andy Cohen calls her out on it.
Right.
And she's like, well, that's just how I say it.
Right.
And he's like, well, the plural is women. She's like, I know. Woman.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you're wrong. Yeah. But it's also the same episode or the same reunion where Teresa used to be Giudice and now it's Giudice.
Right.
Because in the first couple of seasons, she pronounced it as Giudice.
She did.
When she was dragging her like crazy daughter around to like pageants or whatever. Right. Gia. Yeah. Gia Giudice. Yeah, that's a cute name for a child.
Yeah.
She said that she was talking about moving into her new home and she doesn't like to live in other people's homes because they're not, and I'm not even kidding, because they're not cleansy. So I think maybe Danielle using the word woman as the plural of woman, I might give her a pass on that. I know. But she does. Amy Phillips does. Amy Phillips probably listens to this show.
I would think so. Maybe we should like just send her a little link.
Maybe. I mean, now that I'm on the Sirius XM train, we could maybe make it happen.
Yeah.
Does she do an impression of who's the matriarch in Jersey? Caroline?
I don't know. I mean, she pretty much, I've heard her do impressions of almost everybody.
Okay. You know Caroline, right?
Yeah, Caroline Manzo.
Yeah.
Of course I do. Literally never watched the show.
You and I had a conversation a few weeks ago. You do. You're like,
it's so weird.
You're on it.
It's just, nobody knows. It's a scary place in my brain.
As far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Bravo family. You really are.
Maybe they'll start sponsoring my content on Instagram.
Maybe. Maybe they'll send you to like a soccer match. Mm-hmm.
Don't tease me.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like, look,
oh my God.
It's season 3.
Football.
You know? Sorry. A football match, right? Was that
on
what
the
it's
pitch?
On the pitch. No, you've met a couple of people, a couple of Brits.
I met 2 English people recently.
In some pretty exotic places, right? Where'd you meet them?
Staples and the doctor's office. And they liked my jacket. And they were like, ooh, Tottenham. And I was like, yep. Mm-hmm. The one lady was a Wolves fan.
Right. That was the Staples woman, right?
It was. She was a doll. She came and rescued me on a difficult day. Mm-hmm. So I was very appreciative to her. And the nurse today just sort of gave a shout out. So I said, yep, love them.
And people will seek you out when they see that jacket.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. It's a famous jacket.
So I am now, I'm ready to watch, to listen to rather, Sirius XM, because I need to move away from television a little bit.
I agree.
Although I am watching The Undoing on HBO.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Hugh Grant, crazy bastard.
Yeah, I'm finishing up Yellowstone right now. I'm almost done with season 3 of Yellowstone.
Okay. I'm not going to recommend The Undoing to you.
Is it a lot?
I'm on episode 3 and it's it's murdery. It's about a murder. Okay. So it's murdery.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you had texted me last weekend and you had said that you were moving to Yellowstone.
Correct.
And you're never coming back.
And I'm becoming a wrangler.
And you were talking in, you were talking in, to quote you, rancher speak. Right?
I think I was talking about moving some head of cattle up to a pasture somewhere.
Something.
Pasture 9 for the rest of the season.
Because I was talking about, are you going to herd sheep?
No.
Or, I don't know.
Cattle.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yellowstone Ranch. Well, you watch the show.
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you watched it.
I don't like anything Western. Here's the thing. And we're never going to do a show together again. I don't like anything British. Like that's on television.
Yes, you do. Lies, lies, lies. You like The Crown?
Oh, that's true. I do.
You like Downton?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't like that.
Nope.
That's right.
No. And here's why. It's kind of like when I watch sci-fi. Ugh. I'm 3 minutes in. I don't know what the F is going on.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
like,
watch
did I?
sci-fi either.
It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
They're talking in a language that I don't understand. And
It
they're
is
using
hard on
numbers.
your ear if you can't understand the dialogue. I get it that it's difficult to watch.
And it just seems like there's a lot of stuff that's going on that
I
maybe I
understand.
don't care about.
But this is why they're channels on our TVs.
True. And this is also why there's Sirius XM. Maybe
Right.
they'll be one of our sponsors.
Who knows?
And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and I'm going to break it down.
Okay.
There was a podcast that I was really, really looking forward to.
Well, we both were.
90210MG.
I know.
And it's
90210. Oh no.
exactly. It's TV's Kelly Taylor
Right.
and Donna Martin,
Tori Spelling and Jenny Garth.
but the opposite.
Right.
They watch an episode of the show and they talk about it.
Except the first episode of the podcast, they hadn't actually watched an episode yet.
They're kind of gearing up.
But I didn't like that.
Okay, fair enough.
I just felt like come to work prepared.
Okay, right. But you're a prepper.
I am.
Right?
I
Riding
am.
around in your Jaguar, in your hovercraft. I will say this. The first few episodes of Bitter Coffey, that was a little bit rough.
Was it a clunker?
It was, we talked a lot about crickets, which is fine.
Okay.
Because obviously,
Now you have a cricket bat.
now I have a cricket bat.
True.
But yeah, there were just,
Okay, so you know what? We'll
Tell me.
watch it again. Or we'll listen to next week's.
okay.
Wasn't this the same that we felt like when they did the reboot last summer?
Yep.
We
Yeah.
watched that show, but then we ended up watching the whole thing through.
Yes. I kind of watched it through because we were going to see them live. And I
Right.
felt that I needed to prepare. It was like
Correct.
studying
You just
for a
needed-
final.
yeah.
I needed to just dive in. And it was okay. It was fine.
Even though I think we both know almost every minute of that 10 seasons of that series.
100%.
Right.
It started to fall off a little bit for me.
When they
Right
were in
after-
college, or
when-
at post-college.
Yeah, like when Gina got killed.
Right.
Remember? She was getting out of her car. Gina, no. Didn't.
No, her name is not Gina.
I thought it was Gina.
No, Gina is Donna's cousin, the figure skater. You know that Vanessa Marcel who comes on later.
Yes.
Yeah, that her name was Gina.
Who married
Dylan?
Dylan? She died.
I know, what was her name? And I can see her face. She's married in real life. Her name in real life is Rebecca Gayheart, but I don't know what
Such an unfortunate name.
I don't know what her.
Maybe if only there was a way that we could
How
look it
could
up.
we figure this out?
I don't know. If only there was like a handheld machine that we could access quickly.
Well,
You sure her
quickly
name wasn't Gina?
Well, we're gonna see.
Okay, I think her name ended in a vowel. I'm fairly confident.
I agree with
Was it
that.
Vanessa? Vanessa? No. Gabriella? No, because that would be like Gabrielle.
Dylan's-
Okay. While you're doing that,
Antonia. Oh, Antonia
damn it.
Marchette.
and wasn't the dad's name like Anthony or Anton or Anton or something?
Played by Rebecca Gayheart.
You're good. You're
Mic
good.
drop.
I didn't even remember that Donna Martin had a cousin who was an ice skater.
But you remember, and then actually turned out to be her sister. Because her aunt had an affair with her dad, with Donna's dad, and he fathered Gina, the cousin, and then they ended up being half sisters.
Do you remember remember the crazy girl with the wig?
The wig.
She came and lived with Donna and Kelly and
Oh,
David.
yes. Well,
what was her name?
Because Kelly met her in rehab.
Yep.
What was her name?
She wore a wig, right? Like that wasn't her
for
real hair.
Sure. Well, and it was weird because she kind of cut her hair to look like Kelly.
Yeah, but initially she
single
had
white female situation.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember what her name was, but I'll look it up here if I could get into my phone.
She was really
I'm
annoying.
100 years old. And
Didn't like her at all. From the get-go, I didn't trust her. From the moment Kelly met her in rehab, you know what I said?
she's no good.
That's bad news.
Bad news bears.
So there we go. But anyway, while you're doing that,
Because we love 90210. I mean, we really do. You and I think are super fans.
I would say super fan.
And so it just feels sad that I don't know. I wish they were more into it. This is what I said to you when we were texting about the new podcast.
Yep.
I just felt like they were phoning it in.
Why are we not on the show with them? That's the question.
I don't know, because we're engaging and funny, and I literally almost fell asleep listening to them talk.
And you're the one driving around the Jaguar.
Well, I was listening in my house, so
that
was
okay.
safer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just a little bit nervous. I don't know, but they're in the biz. I don't know. Maybe they're finding their way, as they say.
Were you thinking of Tara Marks?
That's exactly who I was thinking of. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Bam! Another mic drop. Yeah. I would drop my mic, but it would probably make a
big racket.
Yeah, it'd make a lot of noise.
Yeah. So we're gonna give 902 and OMG, whatever it's called, another round. We'll give it another try.
But I'm looking forward to perhaps starting Selling Sunset this weekend.
Oh, sure.
I might jump in.
Okay.
I might do it.
Yeah.
Maybe holiday weekend kind of thing. 4 days off. I don't know.
Do you have 4 days off this weekend?
I have 4 days off next week. I have 2 days off and then 2 days that are the weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Not next week, the weekend.
It's the week out. You know what? I can't keep track of anything anymore.
For Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
what is that sound? Do you hear like a... What is that? Furniture. I think it's a vacuum.
Oh, it's a vacuum.
Yeah.
Have you never heard it before? That's concerning.
No, I have, but never in this room. Right? All right. So I guess the upstairs neighbor is just going to do some vacuuming.
Don't they know? They didn't see the on air sign.
I guess not.
Outside the studio.
He is a little bit of like a nutty professor.
That's okay.
So he does this thing. I doubt he'll ever listen to the show, but if he does, sorry, guy upstairs. It's kind of adorable that he leaves his bicycle unlocked in the driveway. Oh. And I kind of want to tell him like,
it's gonna get stolen.
This isn't Mayberry.
Yeah.
It's
Winooski.
It's Winooski. But I think what bodes well for him is that he's like 6.5 feet tall.
Oh.
So it's a pretty big bicycle.
Yeah, it's like not everybody can grab it and run away with it.
No. Yeah. And I don't think people who are 7 feet tall are like out stealing bikes because they're easily seen.
Yeah, few and far between.
They're going to set off a lot of like motion detector lights. People are going to be like, oh my God, it's,
like when the bike was stolen from where we used to work.
Do you want to tell that story?
So the place that Kelly and I used to work, obviously they had security cameras. And one morning I came into work and a person's bike was stolen off the front porch of the building. And I said, we'll have to look back at the security footage to see if maybe we can see like just a time frame. Like I wasn't thinking we were going to get like a description or anything off the person who took it. But
and you like solving a crime now and again.
I love solving a crime. Yeah. I love to fix anything. Mm-hmm. So I had someone help me get the footage played back because it's not super easy. And they sent me a video and it's called like a file of this time snippet, and it was called Pantsless Bandit. And I was like, what? I was like, is this appropriate for work? But in fact, our bike thief had no pants on. No. And so, of course, anybody who walked into my office for a good 10 days had to see the film.
I swung by.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you were like, do you want to see Pantsless Bandit? Without even hesitation, I was like, I sure do.
Yeah.
You're like, and then you gave me the story that a bicycle was stolen. But I was already in. Yeah. You sold me before I even knew what was going on.
Right.
And so and I think I asked you, and I don't know if this question's ever been answered, was he just walking down the street without pants?
See, nobody knows that question.
Okay.
From what we could tell off of the cameras and the angles that sort of had, the person walked onto the porch with no pants on, took said bicycle, got off the porch on the other exit.
The other steps. Okay.
And just took off, which I just was like, were you walking by with no pants and like saw the bike and were like, hey, I'm going to steal that.
Right. I need a quicker way to get home because I don't have any pants.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which I actually think is probably what happened.
Okay.
Who knows? It will go down in history as an unsolved mystery.
Yeah. And you know how fed up I am with unsolved mysteries.
You don't want to talk about that. So
I can't.
I know.
I can't do it. Where were we going with that?
We were talking about stealing Sunset.
Oh, right. And
that
kind of dovetailed into stealing bicycles without wearing pants.
No, we were talking about your neighbor.
Oh, right.
He
All right.
leaves his bike out.
Thanks for workshopping that with
There
me.
we go.
I appreciate
That's why
it.
we're a good pair.
So I was thinking the other day, I had miscalculated when you and I had last had dinner together. For some reason, I was like, it was August.
Right. You were saying it was August of 19.
Right.
And I was like, Kelly.
Yeah.
No. That's insanity.
No. I will say this, though. We were kind of meeting at Waterworks on the regular around that time during the summer.
So last summer, we were going out a lot to Waterworks.
Yep.
But at other times of the year, we like a restaurant.
Yep.
So you and I are going to meet up. We're going to be like, where can we go grab a bite?
Yep. Well, we had a thing every Wednesday night. We had a standing dinner date.
Right.
Which I labeled car chicken.
Because my car. You never ate that with me, though.
You texted me once and you said, I'm in the parking lot of the Champlain Expo eating chicken in my car. This is my life. So then that kind of evolved into
all
like
the moms out there who drive their kids to activities will totally understand that moment that I was having.
because you had like an hour and a half to kill, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So the kids too big to have you inside the activity. Too small to get them their own self anywhere.
Right.
And every activity during the school year used to, but this is all pre-COVID, obviously.
Sure. Back when we could do things and go places.
When my kid had activities outside the house, it happens over dinner time.
Yeah. 6 o'clock.
You know, like, so every time, so I was taking her to roller derby, which is actually a very cool, fun thing she does.
Yeah.
But I would have to like jam her full of dinner on the way. So I'd be like, get a cheese stick and a applesauce.
Sure.
And what would I do?
You would sit in your car and
I
eat
would
Kentucky
drive
Fried
across
Chicken.
the street and get Kentucky Fried Chicken, get a 3-piece basket and a Diet Coke and sit in my car and then feel like a fat kid.
Maybe a biscuit, maybe some mashed
Oh
potatoes.
my God. No maybes about it.
Okay.
With a spork.
What I don't like about the spork and the KFC, that sound when it hits the styrofoam.
Oh my God, I love the spork.
Yeah, but when that sound.
You know what I do though? I add my
You eat it like an apple.
No, I add my corn to my potatoes.
Oh.
And I make a bit of a mixture.
Okay. I didn't know who I was dealing with, but then again, you drive a Jaguar, so sometimes I forget who I'm dealing with. Thank you for reminding me
Please never forget.
who I'm dealing with. So
high class.
I mean, there's fancy and then there's you.
I don't think I wouldn't let anyone eat in this Jaguar. It's a fancy car.
No, I mean, had I
don't
known
even
that
know
you
I'm
had a
gonna
Jag
let
in the
you
driveway,
in
I
it.
would not have even eaten in the kitchen.
It's like
I would
too
have been
close.
like, yeah, it's like it's right on the other side of the window.
Yeah.
And I just broke one of my own rules. I just called your car a Jag.
Good child.
Sorry, I got caught up in the moment.
It's all
But
right.
you love a shortened word.
I love a shortened word. Are you kidding me?
Well, then there you go.
Per
Jag.
usual. I mean, of course, I shorten everything.
So the last time you and I had dinner together
Right.
was February.
We think late February.
I'm going to say late February, early March.
Cold. It was definitely cold.
It was winter.
Yes.
And I remember I was meeting you at a restaurant that used to be called Three Tomatoes.
I was wearing my really cool hat.
Yeah, it was like, well, it's
It
like
was
your
cold.
Western hat.
It is.
You know,
It
little
is.
did I know that you were going to be a ranch hand. Are you a ranch hand on Yellowstone? Like what's
You're a Wrangler.
okay? So you're a Wrangler. You're wearing your wrangling hat.
I mean, I think we all know I'd actually live in the house and like be a family member, but
yeah, no, that's true. So the Wranglers don't live in the.
no, they live in the bunkhouse.
God, there's so much I don't know about Western life.
It's okay.
There's really nothing.
I don't know either.
Well, you know more than me.
Well, but I also texted you that I can't live out this fantasy because the one time I rode a horse, it rode me into a tree and pinned my leg against the tree.
Yeah.
And I started screaming, and the lady who was running the like trail ride that I was taking was yelling at me to stop yelling, which never works.
And how old were you?
11?
Okay, yeah, not a good time to get pinned by a horse,
No.
by like next to a tree.
And it was like a trail riding horse that they like brought to my camp on like a there was like 8 horses delivered one day, like by a horse trailer.
Okay.
They were like the most broke down lot of horses I've ever seen. It was not a good scene.
This one went rogue.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt had a horse when I was a little girl.
Oh.
And we used to go to, there was a racetrack, a horse racetrack. Did you call it a track? What, a track?
Yeah.
It's a track. I had this knack for picking winning horses as a child.
Your aunt took you to place the bets?
Yeah. I was like a good luck charm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And the horse's name was Power Sweep.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of a cool name.
Wait,
but
so she owned a racehorse?
she owned a racehorse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so my sibling and I would go to the horse farm in Vineland, New Jersey.
To visit the horse.
Oh,
and that was a beautiful
we
horse,
could
I'm
feed
sure.
licorice.
Oh.
We had to basically
Put your hand out.
but
Yep.
my aunt wanted us to double, she wanted our fingers to be double jointed so they could bend the opposite way.
Yeah.
And we would feed Power Sweep carrots and black licorice. And it was amazing. And the farmer that worked there, Charlie, he would have us stir up this molasses mixture, not really realizing what I know now is that it was basically child labor.
Correct.
And he was a bit of a drunk, but kind of a nice Charlie. I think Charlie was his name. I think so. Had 50s Fonzie hair. Love it. He was a bit of a character. So my classmates didn't believe that my aunt had a horse. So my grandmother, she got this trip together. She said, "We're going to Vineland, and you're going to take pictures on Power Sweep."
Nice.
And as I was being put on the horse, and he was a racehorse, so he's kind of big.
Right.
He was used to having tiny people on him because he raced.
Right.
But my aunt and grandmother said to me, "Whatever you do, don't yell." So as my aunt is taking pictures, I'm slowly sliding off the horse.
Oh no.
And my grandmother finally said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "You told me not to yell."
Right.
I almost fell off a horse.
Oh no.
But
And
it wasn't
it's
because of the
super
horse.
tall.
It was a really big horse. It'd be like falling off this roof.
Yeah.
Well,
because you were little.
I was tiny. I think I was maybe 10 years old.
That's cool.
So yet another connection you and I have.
I really wish you still had those pictures of you on Power Sweep.
I do have them somewhere.
I
I'll
wanna
dig
see
them out.
them.
Yeah. And I'm probably really sunburned,
I love it.
with like pigtails,
Perfect.
big glasses,
Oh, that's
the whole
awesome.
thing. Yeah. I'll take a look around. I have them somewhere.
That's fun. So basically we could just open a ranch anytime.
I mean, I basically grew up on a horse farm.
Sure.
I made the molasses apple stuff.
Yeah.
I
I wonder what that was.
I don't know. It seemed like it was oatmeal and apples and some kind of horse food. I don't know. And I've fed horses
Sure.
carrots and licorice. So I mean,
What else is there to do?
I would just blend right into that farm.
Probably.
Where's the licorice kept? And then I would just feed the
Go
horses.
eat it.
One for you, one for me.
I hate licorice though.
You're not a fan?
Not black licorice.
No, not at all. It's disgusting. It's like eating soap.
My mom loves it. Yeah.
Again, that's where your mom and I are going to have to agree to disagree. But here's the thing about people who like black licorice. All due respect to your mom, they're kind of in your face about it, right?
Oh no, my mom is.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, do you have black licorice? Because I like that. Do you have black jelly beans? Because I eat them.
Yeah.
They get a little bit.
And when we go on a road trip, she's always like, "Do they have licorice all sorts?" That's her favorite candy.
Licorice all sorts?
Yeah, they're pink and white and black. They're you find them in a penny candy store.
Okay.
You can actually get them in Jericho at the Jericho Country Store.
Okay. Well, I mean, same thing.
They have penny candy there.
So and the ranch is probably right next door.
Sure.
Next door to the penny store. And then you could go for like a
ride.
bloodletting.
Who knows?
It sounds very old timey.
Yeah, let's get some leeches.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Good as new. Speaking of which, I watched part of I don't even want to talk about it. The idiot that still holed up in the White House is saying there's going to be a vaccine in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Who knows?
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he just lies about everything. I don't know why. You know what? Did I have candy before we started this show?
We had a lot of candy.
Okay, so that's probably why I just went off on this.
A little kind of lightheaded, but kind of I'm going to pass out too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I'm fine. It's just the candy. I ate a ton of Sweet Tarts.
Okay. And the chewy kind, which I can't have because,
Right, with the dental work.
Dental work. So I was talking the other day, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but we were talking about like trips that we took as kids. And as you know, and our 7 listeners know, like when I was growing up, like my parents didn't have a lot of money. So we went to the circus, and like I don't know where we got the tickets. I don't know.
But it was like a fun day. You went like into New York.
Went into New York, but it's like because like
big deal.
because my dad my dad knew a guy.
Yeah.
And like my mom would use this expression. We would get these Atari cartridges back in the day, and my mom would say she'd get them like a week before they came out.
Oh wow!
So I was like the coolest person in the apartment complex, and she would say, "Yeah, they fell off a truck." Like she would say that to children.
Right.
So we were living in North Plainfield.
Okay.
And so I was maybe 6 years old. My sibling was maybe 8. And we took the train into the city, and it was a big deal. And I didn't know until this time that I had a fear of clowns.
Right.
So we walk into like
How do you know until you run into one?
No idea. But maybe I've been exposed to clowns prior to that.
Maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Bozo the Clown. Maybe I saw him on TV, just changed the channel. I don't know. Clarabelle. Scary, murdery clown. So anyway, we were walking into Madison Square Garden, or, those of us who've lived in the city, the garden.
Sure.
And I saw a clown. And I clearly remember screaming and then like running up 7th Avenue. And my dad had to like chase me or something. Right. And I remember like being like kind of like detained. Like what I knew what I was doing was wrong, but like I didn't really have another option. So, I calmed down, and we get a slice of pizza and we go in. And what they did back then, and I doubt that they would even do this now, they gave us all these flashlights, like a little bit bigger than like a lighter.
Yeah.
And
a glow stick almost, but
yeah. But, and like you popped open the top, and like that's what lit it up. And it was on like a plastic string. And they let everybody know that at a certain time they were going to shut out the lights, and everybody's just going to start swinging these flashlights around. And it's like a room full, like it's an entire stadium
full of little kids,
filled with kids who are sugared up.
Right.
And like, they're crazy, myself included.
You're hitting people.
You're hitting yourself.
Yep.
And I remember I had bruises up and down my forearm, because I don't know if you know this about me. Sometimes like I'm not too coordinated.
Right.
Just
fumbly.
Little fumbly. And so I had bruises up and down my arm. And then I started thinking about like the toys that we had as kids.
Right.
And the one toy that came to mind, because it reminded me of the flashlight. Remember Kerbangers?
Yes.
Okay. Kerbangers, for those of you who don't know, let's just say Cedric, because he's a young guy. Maybe he doesn't know what a Kerbanger is.
Maybe.
And it could have a totally different meaning to a totally different group of people.
Knows?
So a Kerbanger, in my day, it's these 2 like heavy duty plastic balls on a string.
Right.
And
on a stick.
On a stick. So you just basically, you get the balls going back and forth. And then once you get going, you move your arm up and down so they hit.
Go ahead.
I'm never going to get through this.
Well, I didn't bring up Kerbangers. So I don't know what you're doing.
It's the candy. Damn you, gummy bears. So, God. You know what? Do me a favor, buddy. Just look up Kerbangers, because I can't, because it's just going to be.
But they're dangerous.
They're super dangerous. I remember hitting myself in the arm, hitting myself in the face.
Hitting other people.
Yeah. And it was
and
like.
not even like hitting other people like you're trying to hit someone. Like
No.
they're just like standing next to you, and it just like flies and hits them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just like the trick was to see how long you can make these balls hit one another. So
that's all we wrote, folks.
There's my kerbanger segment. So, but I remember like toys that we had then.
We're so dangerous.
You can't have now.
They're so dangerous.
Kerbangers.
No.
Do you remember a hippity hop? Do you remember this?
Well, you had to explain it to me.
A hippity hop is like a big plastic ball with a handle on.
Oh, yeah, like a ball with a... Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you hopped on it. Yeah. Like you basically sat on it.
Yes.
And then like hopped around.
Those were awesome.
Those were amazing.
Dangerous
As hell.
Always hurt my knees.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was no telling which way you were going to go.
No, because you hippity hopped.
You hippity hopped.
Just this way, that way, you just don't know.
But would that kind of toy, that wouldn't fly today?
Oh.
Do they even still have like pogo sticks?
Somewhere, but like probably in a museum. Not for children.
Not like for kids. It's not like, oh, what do you want for Christmas?
No.
I
Kids
like a
now,
pogo stick.
Get bikes with no wheel, like no pedals. They just like glide on them for a while.
Really?
Like it's very safe. It's all very safe. Everyone
Seems kind of
wears
boring
helmets.
though. Yeah. I mean, I guess you kind of have to.
It's good. No, it's
I guess.
really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's, it's good for their brains.
Sure. Yeah.
Unlike ours.
Right.
We're like, Lord knows how many concussions we've all
Obviously,
had.
I've spent way too many years on a hippity hop.
Hippity hop. That was a fun toy.
And like it made like a great sound. It had like
Sit and spin.
Love to sit and spin. We had this toy, like a backyard toy. Do you remember a whirly bird?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are very dangerous.
They're extremely, it's a huge metal contraption that you sit in the metal seat and there's a handle. And when you like move the handle back and forth, it spins
around.
like
out of control.
Out of control. And here's the thing, there's no way to stop it.
Nope.
You just had to wait for it to be over.
We also had backyard slides made out of sharp metal.
Sure did.
That would literally every summer someone would have like a 3rd-degree burn on their butt because they slid down in their bathing suit.
Yep.
One summer I cut my hand on the underside of the slide. I was trying to stop myself.
Oh.
And it was bleeding so badly that the neighborhood moms whose house I was at said, "You need to go home, honey, and show your mom."
Did you have to get like a
Yes. I
tetanus
had to go to the
shot,
hospital.
stitches? It was
I
a
had to
whole
go to the
thing.
hospital.
And how old were you?
I don't know, 4 or 5. I was little.
Yeah. You were like
She
a
was
baby.
like, go ahead.
Yeah. She wasn't going to handle that.
Like, no, so I was 5, so it was like 1979.
Yeah.
Like,
People were
those
still getting
moms. She was like probably like smoking her cigarette and be like, "Go home, see your mom."
Yep. Yeah, I could pour some gin and tonic
My
on it, but it's
hand
not
was,
going to
like,
work.
Wrapped up. Mm-hmm. Like keep some pressure on it.
Keep it above your heart.
Yeah, I wasn't 4, and that's not fair. I was like probably 6 or 7.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was little.
Yeah.
I was little.
There was no way to stop like a whirly bird.
Nope.
There was no way to say, hey, this big metal slide is something that maybe children should not be playing on.
No, it's ridiculous. Do you remember you go to the playground and the metal slides would be like 2 stories tall?
Yeah. We had 2 playgrounds in our apartment complex. And one was, they had like the regular playground. And then like a couple of years later, they made another one across the street. And the first playground had swings and a log cabin, which was, oh my God, it was like, I don't know how many times, like I'd get my hand caught. Like it was terrible. But we played in it every day.
All the time.
And what they had like on the ground, like say you were going to build a playground.
Yeah.
What would you put on the ground?
Well, they've got all that nice like soft stuff now. No, they probably put like wood chips.
That's what they put in the new one.
Oh.
But the first one,
Gravel.
rocks. It was rocks.
Gravel. Yeah.
And that sound like walking across the stones. And we would obviously do what all kids did. You'd get swinging really high on
you kick the stones.
No, you jump off and you land in the stones. And the goal was to land as close to the sliding board as possible without hitting it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how like I have any arms or legs.
I agree.
I have no
I
idea.
was never that daring.
We had nothing
I was
else to
scared.
do.
I was just too scared.
Right.
Like
right.
I would be swinging really, really high, and it would be cherry bumping.
I don't know what you're saying.
So like when you're swinging so hard that the swing set starts to kind of pick up off the ground.
Oh,
That's called cherry bumping. I don't know where that came from, but other people confirm it for me.
What does that mean?
It means it like the swing set.
No, I know, but like, where does that term come from?
No idea.
All right, we're gonna have to do some research on that.
So, and people would be like, jump off, and I'd be like crying, like no.
One of my friends, Adam Stack, jumped off the swing, and his coat got caught.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he kind of got dragged back. Man, we laughed like crazy. We thought it was the funniest thing ever.
That's not good.
But like looking back, it probably wasn't funny. But at the time, hilarious.
You know what we had at my elementary school? We had this big wooden barrel. It was probably 6 feet in diameter.
Okay.
And you would run
Yes.
up the side of it. And it would roll. It was stationary.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was like legit wood.
Yeah.
That thing was dangerous. Just unbelievable.
Which I guess is why there's some, on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's some toys that basically didn't do anything.
Like?
Right?
Pet rocks.
Pet rock. Man, such a genius idea.
Brilliant. Brilliant marketing.
My dad bought me a pet rock.
He didn't buy it. He just got it outside.
He knew a guy. He had a guy. I know a guy. Like he bought it somewhere. I don't know where he got it, but he named it.
Okay.
And then he like wrote the name of the rock on the rock, and then I just didn't want it anymore. But like, remember, like it came in a box.
No, it did. Yeah, it was like a legit toy.
It was like a cage. Came in a cage, right? Yeah. Do you remember the Drowsy doll?
No, you told me about that, but I don't remember that.
Drowsy doll is just it was like a baby.
That was drunk?
Like, I don't know, like sedated.
Okay.
Or like tired.
Benadryl?
Or maybe. Yeah. It was like an Ambien baby.
Okay.
And then there was baby Chrissy. You could make her hair. Sorry?
Is she the one that peed?
No, you could make her hair longer or shorter.
Oh.
Yeah, so you would like pull the shit out of her hair to like give her a ponytail.
Yeah.
And then there was a string in her back where you could like pull it and then her hair would be short
tight.
again.
Yeah. Huh.
So,
interesting.
Yeah, so that was kind of a
This
cool
is probably
toy.
a little bit later than when you were really at this age, but Pound Puppies.
Yeah, I was yeah. I mean, I remember them, but yeah, I was just a little bit too old for them when they came out. They're probably worth like tens of thousands of dollars now, right?
They came in like a cage. That's what reminded me when you said the rock came in the cage.
Oh.
The Pound Puppies came in little cages because they were from the pound.
Right.
Which is a weird, sad thing.
Yeah, that's kind of dark though, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you free them from the cages.
And you give them love.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Cabbage Patch Kids. You adopt them.
Yeah, those, you know what? Those always kind of scared the hell out of me.
They're weird.
Yeah, they're weird looking.
Like they have weird names.
They have weird names, and it's kind of like, I don't know, they had like, I don't know, like there was something in the water supply that like made their faces kind of big.
I remember one Christmas, I don't know why I kept going to the mall with my grandmother, but they were like real Cabbage Patch Kids. Like not the ones with like the hard face.
Right.
Like there was like the original ones that were like all soft.
Okay.
And they were like up high in the toy department. And I would walk by and I'd say to my grandma, like, aren't those amazing? And like I would talk about them and how much I wanted one. And one day she's like, do you think I'm going to buy you that?
She just broke it down.
And I was like, yeah.
No.
She was like, no, I'm not.
They were expensive, right?
Yeah, they were like $100-some, I bet.
For a doll.
And my grandmother was like, were you crazy?
Yeah.
No.
You never got one.
Not one of those.
No.
I mean, my mom stood in line for the ones with like the plastic faces.
Okay.
Like that Christmas, I got one. It's not like I needed anything by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
But, you know, I do remember very vividly as a child being like, maybe if I like give my grandma big doe eyes, she'll buy me this.
Didn't work.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope. There's no fool in the Scottish.
No, this is my Hungarian grandmother.
There's no fool in the Hungarians.
No. She's a gypsy, so.
Well, that's why you didn't get a Cabbage Patch Kid.
No doubt.
You know?
She's also the lady that told me that she sold my uncle into slavery.
Oh,
he was stolen by the gypsies.
That's right.
Yes.
But are there pictures of him?
No, because they stole them.
Right.
He took them with him.
But there's no pictures of him. No. How old was he when he was stolen
I
or
would
sold?
ask it, like he was like 1.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it wasn't like after 4 years old, like
No.
those pictures kind of dropped off. No.
And I'd be like, Grandma, I just don't. She like had a whole line to her death.
Do you believe her?
No.
No. That was like, that was her thing.
Oh, she was crazy.
Did you ever Google him?
Awesome way. He's not real.
It's not real.
No.
But you never bothered to like Google his name.
I've asked my dad. My dad's like 100% total fiction. Your grandmother was insane.
But your dad also thought that he was 100% Hungarian.
We don't talk about that. Kelly.
Okay. All right. Okay. Moving on. You should Google him.
My dad is, there is no guy.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Because it wasn't her brother. She was saying she sold one of her children.
I'm not going to let this go.
No, it's not. Right. There's no guy.
Like he's not on your family tree.
No.
You can't go to like ancestry.com.
No, although I have funny story about ancestry.com.
Tell me more.
So, well, I did 23andMe. We all did a couple Christmases ago. I think we've talked about that before. And,
oh, yes.
And so I recently got a notification that I had a new DNA relative. Mm-hmm. So, you open it up, it's usually like your 6th cousin or, it's just random.
Yeah.
First cousin.
I got one of those recently too.
So I was like, I said to my mom, just kind of joking, like, well, I wonder who had an affair, like something.
Oh, boy.
Fast forward like 5 months and my mom calls and says like Papa's brother, so my grandfather's brother, son called my dad. So it's like my dad's first cousin.
Okay.
And they found a sister.
What?
Yeah. And so my mom and I were talking about it. I said, do you think that's the lady that popped up on my 23andMe all those months ago? Mm-hmm. So I looked it up and it was her.
Son of a gun.
So yeah.
I had a first cousin, might have been a second cousin, but it said by marriage.
Oh.
So, but I recognized the last name.
Interesting.
But not the first name. Mm-hmm. And it was a male name. But I don't want to brag too much.
Sure.
But I have a little bit of French ancestry. Oh. Because I did a 23andMe over the summer.
Right.
Because I had nothing better to do.
Right.
And.
Hashtag quarantine. Hashtag.
Right.
Hashtag I don't know what else.
Had a little bit of French. Mm-hmm. And then some other stuff. We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
And I forgot.
Oh. But it's a little bit of stuff that you weren't like, you didn't know about the French.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
Oui.
Sorry.
It's true. No, I mean, sometimes just, it's genetic.
I know.
I automatically just start speaking in French. I'm going to.
Do you say Paris like Paris?
Oui.
A little bit. Just go.
Look ahead. I can speak French. Ask me another question.
So many sweet tarts.
Too many gummy bears. So I was going to suggest that, hey, if you give me the name of your, let's just say cousin, because I don't know how to follow genealogy because it makes me crazy. Mm-hmm. I can Google him at work. But you know what?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
No.
Want to know why?
I have a good idea.
Because we don't have any computers at work.
Correct.
Do we talk about this at all? Do we dive into it, or do we just let it go? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
2020 kind of needs to end.
It needs to be over.
So to break it down for you guys, obviously we're kind of, as one of my dear friends from New Jersey would say, we're still balls deep in a pandemic.
Correct.
And with no end in sight.
Nope.
And now Vermont's, we were kind of the model and now we're completely screwed.
Right.
But it's fine. We'll figure it out. So we have the pandemic, and just recently, 2 weeks ago, our employer was victim of a cyber attack.
Yep.
And we have no computers. So it's not like, I can't email you.
No.
Or I don't have access to this.
Nope.
Like there's appointments and stuff that can happen.
Yeah.
And I tried to reschedule one of my appointments. The woman yelled at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But she's not a nice person. She's not. It's not the first time I've dealt with her.
Okay.
And when I called, I was responding to a voicemail that somebody very lovely had left for me. And then I get the mean lady on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me like I was like a stupid 4-year-old.
Right.
Well, all of our systems are down. Okay. Right. And she kind of cut me off mid-sentence. And I said, I'm calling to, no, we're not scheduling anything. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wanted to hang up when I knew it was her, but I figured I would just kind of like power through it.
Sure.
Didn't really work out very well. Yeah. We didn't end the call
Didn't end the call
on good terms. And then I had somebody from the census.
Oh.
They left a note in my mailbox that they needed more information from me.
I got those calls on my cell phone.
So you know what I did? I called the number.
Yeah.
Spoke to somebody named Cheryl. And first thing, what's your name and your date of birth? No.
Right.
No.
Right.
If you came to my house, then you have my information, but you need more information. You have my name. Right. It's on the census form. Like, what do you need? Yep. My income? Am I left-handed? Am I right-handed? I'm left-handed, you guys. No. Right. I'm not giving you my name, my date of birth, because I don't know who you are, Cheryl.
Right.
I know that I'm calling Florida.
Right.
Based on the...
Beyond that.
Yeah, but isn't that weird?
I got that phone call a couple times on my cell phone asking the same thing. You know, you've recently completed the census. Please call back for additional information. So I Googled it on snoops.com.
Oh.
And it was real.
Okay.
And...
Green light.
It said green light. It said go ahead. It said... you'll call and then they will text you a confirmation code to your phone. And so I was like, okay. And so then I asked for them so I called the phone number. They answered U.S. Census, blah, 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 confirmation code. The questions that they wanted to confirm for me were like, how many people lived in my house? And so I was like,
it's already on the form.
I said that and I don't know. But I didn't feel like I wasn't giving any information. They did not ask me to confirm dates of birth or anything like that.
Yeah, it didn't feel, sorry, I'm not having a seizure. I'm just taking off my, oh, Jesus Christ.
You okay over there?
Every show I'm smacking into something.
It's okay.
I was just getting.
Sorry, I can't help it.
One of these days, I'm either going to know when you're going to hit the bell, or I'm not going to
You're never going to
slam my hand on the table as I laugh. But you know what? Now it's just become a staple of the show.
The thing. It's
you know
just
what
the
I mean?
Thing. It's what
That's
we do.
kind of like a barometer as to like how funny I think something is.
Yeah.
Like how often I like punch the table.
I know. Yeah. So it's been a week at work.
It's
2 weeks,
been a couple
2.5
of
weeks.
Yeah. And there was something else that happened. Pandemic, cyber attack.
Well, the election.
So
it was like the trifecta of stress.
Yeah. But I mean, here we are. Now, I can't.
It's just, I can't. We're walking through every day. We're just rolling with it. I ordered all of my food for Thanksgiving from Healthy Living today. So, that's good.
Big shout out to Healthy Living.
Yeah.
I just ordered a bunch of food. I'm going to pick it up the Tuesday before. I'm sure it's going to be like a bit of a goddamn zoo.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't care.
It'll be fine. I'm sure they'll have a system.
There's always a system. And I think what's going to happen is you call and then you're going to wait in your car.
Yeah.
Kind of like with everything else that we do these days.
Which I never want to get rid of. I want curbside delivery for the rest of my life.
I mean, you could do that.
I need it.
I don't think things like that are going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think so because we'll pay for it as consumers. So
yeah, that's a good point. Anything else that you want to kind of serpentine around or into? I think we covered a lot of.
Boy, I do.
Covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad we're back, kicking off the third season strong.
Happy season 3, Margo.
Happy season 3.
As per usual.
Yes.
I want to thank our listeners first and foremost.
Thank you.
We want to thank the Polarity Foundation, without whose help this show would not be possible. It's probably grammatically incorrect, right? Without whom this podcast would not be possible. Whatever. I want to thank Doggy Styles.
Yes.
Doggy Styles, Pet Grooming, and I have their address and their phone number.
You're
I'm ready.
so
I'm ready today, guys. It only took me 5.5 months. Doggy Styles is located at 925 Roosevelt Highway in Colchester, and you can text or call them. And their number is 802-654-7830. Oh, God damn it. 802-654. 7382. Man, so close. Right? I could tell. Look at her face. You're like, she's doing it.
Close.
She's getting through it. She's getting the name, the address, and the phone number. No, I messed it up. It's a lot of pressure. Who else do I want to thank? I want to thank Derek. Yep. And I want to thank Amanda Jones. Mm-hmm. She is out in Colorado.
Yep.
Where your daughter is.
Correct.
Is it still on fire out there?
No, they got snow.
Okay.
There's
Perfect.
a lot of COVID.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So is she, we probably talked about this off mic about her traveling and stuff, but all right.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Our intro and outro music is Hold Me Down by John Worthy and the Bends. And thanks again, you guys. We will see you in 2 weeks. Take care.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.